Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today's video is super exciting. I have all kinds of noise going on in the background. I've got the heat running, I've got my washing machine going, kids in the background watching TV, but I just could not wait for a quiet moment to film this. I'm way too excited. We paid off our Discover card, you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. We started paying this guy down in December, and it was my goal to pay it off before the interest kicked in towards the end of March, and I'm thrilled to say that we did it. So I was able to pull some money from a tax refund to completely pay this guy off. I'm so thrilled. You guys can tell from my voice, right? Like, this was a huge win for us. It was my goal to pay this off in March. It's the first day of the month, and I'm gonna go in and make this payment. So yes, I'm so excited. We're gonna finish coloring this guy in today. I pulled a couple of mild liners here in some sort of March colors. You guys know I like to color code my charts just so I can get a visual for how long it took me to pay off. So I did the red and green in December. That kind of showed what we paid off in December. The red, or the, I'm sorry, that's definitely not red. The blue and gray was for January, pink and purple for February, and now for March we're going to go with, what is this one? This is yellow. Sometimes they have weird names. And this one is, okay, green. These ones aren't weird names. So we're gonna get this colored in, and then we're gonna talk about what's going to happen next. So I'll be right back. Just a little tiny bit colored in, and this guy is paid. Ta-da! Discover card is done. So we need to put an end date here. We started on December 14th, 2020, and we finished March 1st, 2021. So not too shabby, you guys. 3 months to pay off $4,395.47. We had big help from our tax refund to get this paid off, but I'm excited to say that we are done. We can turn the page on Discover. Now let's talk about what's next. Alright friends, so we're going to turn the page on Discover, and I have a fresh credit card debt chart here from debtfreecharts.com. I really like using these ones because, like I said, I can color code and see how much progress I made each month. Before I tell you guys what's next, and I know some of you already know because I spoiled it on my live stream, I want to thank you all so much for taking the time to comment on my last Snowball update, where I talked about what was next and I asked your guys' advice on what I should do. I got so many great helpful comments on that video. It really gave me a lot to think about. If you missed that video and you have no idea what I'm talking about, I have 4 cards left to pay, and I was struggling with whether I should move on to the next lowest card in the list, because that card has 0 interest right now and will have 0 interest until February of 2022. So I didn't really want to start paying that off because I have higher cards that I'm paying interest on currently. So I talked about skipping that one and then trying to decide what card to tackle next. Ultimately, I have decided to tackle Amazon next. It is the card that has the highest balance and it has the highest interest rate. So thank you all for your advice. I really, really appreciate it. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna tackle Amazon next. I am so excited. I have so many emotions kind of wrapped up in this. I tend to use Amazon as sort of retail therapy a lot. I have put a lot of mileage on my Amazon card just shopping for the sake of shopping. It's so easy and convenient just to click, you know, buy and have it shipped here in 2 days. And so this balance has a lot of like negative feelings for me because I know that I am the primary source of this debt, and I'm excited to see it go. So it's time to admit the total on this card, and I'm a little bit embarrassed, I'm not gonna lie. Now, not all of this was me. We do a lot of our like household shopping on Amazon. We were big into subscribe and save for a while, so a lot of that is accumulated here as well. And you know, I'm not the only one in the house that shops Amazon, so it's not just me, but I feel the most guilt for this card, so I'm excited to see this balance go. Okay, so I just opened up my Amazon store card statement. I owe $4,573.03. So it's another biggie. Like I said, this is the card with the highest balance. It also has the highest interest rate. We are paying something stupid like 28% interest or something. It's ridiculous. So we're gonna start tackling this guy. The start date for this one is gonna be March 2nd. I'm gonna make my first payment tomorrow. And our minimum payment on this card is $150-ish. I just kind of rounded it to make it easy. Last couple of months I paid $175 because I had put something on the card and I was trying to pay it off, which I have done now. That full amount has been paid, so we're back down to our typical 150, might be 165. We're going to call it 150 is what we're paying. So we are going to add that to our existing debt Snowball, and we're going to figure out exactly how much we're going to pay every single week to Amazon. So I'm going to grab a little sticky note here. This is just an Erin Condren sticky note cube. So we said $150. I like to take that monthly amount and divide it by 4, since most months have 4 weeks. The months that have 5 weeks, we will just make a little bit extra of a payment, which is fine. So we're going to take that and divide it by 4. 150 divided by 4 to get a weekly amount, which is $37.50. Can you guys see? This is awfully dark. Let me up the brightness. There we go. $37.50 plus the $173 that we have been paying every week makes a new amount of $210.50. We're gonna round it down and just make it $210 every single week to Amazon until it's paid off. I was able to take that minimum payment for Amazon and add it to it. Since we're going to be paying this every week, it'll cover the minimum payment as well. Hopefully that makes sense. That's how I do it. So every single week we're going to pay at least $210 to this Amazon card just for funsies. Let's see. $4,573.03. If we divide that by the $210, we can see that it's going to take me about 22 weeks to pay off this card if all we make is this payment. You guys know I attempt every week to add extra to our debt Snowball, so hopefully it'll go quicker than that, but if everything goes right, I don't have to skip any payments. Sometimes we do if my husband's paycheck comes in super low or whatever, because he's paid based on commission, but in a perfect world, we will have this card paid off in 22 weeks or less, which is exciting. I'm so happy to be able to say we're gonna have this monkey off my back. So now I'm going to go in, do some math, and fill in the sides here to get an idea of the values for each of these lines, and we're gonna go ahead and color in our first payment of $210. So I'm not gonna try to do the math on camera. You guys know I'm terrible at math, so I'm gonna go put these values in. We'll come back and color this together. Be right back. Okay, so I actually had to completely remake my chart because I messed it all up the first time. I told you guys I was terrible at math, but I have it all figured out now. Each of these lines is going to be worth about $92, except the first one. I had to round this total up to get an even number. You guys know how that goes. What you do with these charts is you take your amount, you divide it by 50 since there's 50 lines, and that's how you get what each line is worth. So I just rounded this up to 4,600 and then divided by 50 and got 92 for each line. So this first line is going to be worth a little bit less, but overall it's a really nice visual. I love the debt-free charts. They're completely free. I have this resource link down below for you all if you are interested. You can check it out, print out your charts to help keep you motivated. I just love the visual aspect of this. So I'm going to go ahead and color in our first payment. Just to kind of get this started. I don't want to put this away with a completely blank page, so I'm going to use those same green highlighters because we're still in March, and I'm going to go ahead and mark in our first payment. So because there's interest on this card, things might be a little bit wonky, but for the first payment, I'm confident that it'll all work out. So we have $45.7303. Our first payment is going to be $210, which will take our balance down to $4,363.03. So I'm going to be able to color just to this third line here, which is fine, and that's going to represent our first payment. So I'm going to go ahead and get that colored in. I am so excited to be tackling this Amazon card. Maybe some of you will disagree with skipping ahead to the end to pay this off, but you know, when Dave Ramsey talks about the debt snowball, he talks all about what is motivating to you. He says to put your cards in order from lowest to greatest because paying off those lower cards are going to act as an emotional win for you and keep you going. And paying off this Amazon card is going to be so much better in terms of an emotional win than paying off one of my lower cards, and that's why I feel totally justified in doing this. You guys know we aren't super strict about following Dave Ramsey's principles anyway. When we pay this card off, we are likely going to keep the card. We're not going to cancel it. Credit score is important to us. We are going to be buying a home someday, and so you know, like I said, we're not super into Dave Ramsey. Some of his principles work really well for us, others don't. And I feel totally justified in making the decision to pay off this Amazon card next. It's going to feel so good to have it paid off. And then once it's empty, I just have to make sure to resist the temptation of using it again. I know some of you guys told me I should just cancel it. Somebody told me I should put it into water and freeze it and keep it in my freezer so I can't use it. My plan is just to remove this Amazon card entirely from my Amazon account, and I'm going to lock the card in my safe so that I have a mental barrier between the emotional shopping. Like, I have to make the decision to go unlock my safe, go into it, get the card, and plug in the numbers to make a purchase, and I think just that little bit of a delay in the instant gratification is going to help trigger my, you know, rational response and get me out of that emotional state. So that's the plan for Amazon. We have got a tiny little start. I'm hopeful that we will get to pay this off super quickly and say goodbye to all those extra interest payments. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think is most important in your debt-free journey. Is it, you know, doing it smallest to greatest like Dave Ramsey says? Is it the emotional wins? Do you like the debt avalanche because you're paying less in interest? I'd love to hear your thoughts on debt payment. Ultimately, I think it doesn't matter what you choose so long as you make the decision to start and tackle your debt. So that is it for my video today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will be back at the end of March for another update. We'll hopefully have a good chunk of this card paid off by then. I appreciate your support. I would love it if you would take a minute, click the thumbs up button. That really helps my channel out. Also, if you have not yet subscribed, I would love it if you would click that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, friends.